Hello and welcome to Little Home in the Universe. Today we are going to make some bean dishes. Yes, the kind that turn you into a human instrument.
Beans, the
About
more you
that,
eat, the more you
a
toot.
couple feelings on that. First off, if you soak your beans overnight, you reduce your tootiness. But also, most importantly, if you cook your beans all the way and they're not starchy and raw, you reduce your tootiness significantly. Anywho, so now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to be showing you two different preparations of bean styles. One is a reductive preparation. So we're going to put the beans, in this case cranberry beans, into a pan with all of our flavoring agents, bacon and onions and some red wine in this case. And I'm going to put it in a cast iron pan and allow it to cook down, adding a little bit more liquid as needed, hot liquid, as needed to cook the beans to a nice, perfect texture. And then the other one is a bean called flageolet. Which one? Here we go. This one, flageolet, which is a French-style bean. They are picked when they are still kind of young, so they have a nice freshness to them. They have a bright greeny note to them. We're going to toss that in with some summer vegetables, a lovely condiment called shug. At least that's how one of my friends told me to pronounce it. Some raw onion. It is a phenomenal lunch that you can then add some toppings to or utilize as a side. For that preparation, the flageolet beans, we are basically just going to boil them, kind of like you would a pasta. And then when they're done cooking, we're going to strain out the liquid, chill them, and then season them and dress them again like you would a pasta. But it's so much better than just a pasta. You and me, we're using, if you will, go onto our website and buy the beans from Primary Beans. I like this company very much because they have a harvest date. So the beans that you're purchasing at a grocery store, for instance, have probably been sitting around for 3 to 4 years in a warehouse. They're old. They're just not really they're living their full potential. Whereas primary beans, you can put them in your pan and start cooking with them right away. Again, helps with the tootiness. All right, let's get started.
As always, you can find the detailed recipes on our website. We are beginning with the flageolet beans, and I am just chopping up a quarter of an onion, just giving it a rough chop. You can see that the pan that I'm using has a high side to it. This will reduce the amount of moisture that comes out. I never salt my beans until after they have finished cooking. I'm adding about a teaspoon and a half of thyme, and then I'm just gonna top that bad boy off with water and set it on the stove. For the cannellini beans, I sweated off a quarter of an onion and about 3 sticks of bacon. I'm doing a cup of beans, 2 cloves, 2 bay leaves, a teaspoon and a half of thyme. I'm going to top that off with some water and add some red wine. I will add more red wine and water as it reduces down. Look at that red wine. We want everything to have a gentle bubble. You can see here the cannellini beans are bubbling too much. The flageolet are moving around nicely. And here I've corrected the cannellini beans, so you see just a gentle bubble, and the flageolet are kind of just floating around. My flageolet beans are finished when they start to break apart ever so slightly. It took about an hour and a half to cook them. I'm going to strain that and then scoop them up the side of my strainer to give it more surface area to cool down faster. So now we get into the mixing process. My beans have chilled overnight. I have firm tomatoes, so they're relatively still firm on one side, an onion, and my lovely shug, which you can buy on the website. You will find these tomatoes either in your garden, some that have not ripened completely, or at a farmer's market where they'll just want to give them to you, or say you're at your local grocery store and you're buying beefsteak tomatoes and they're from the grocery store, so they are just junk. You all know what they are. They have a firmness to them. They have a toothsomeness to them. They're not that beautiful summer drenched, just soft and delicious tomato. They're a little more firm. How many times am I going to say firm? So what we're doing is we're just slicing them up. We're going to add an onion into all of this. You would be surprised as to how the onion mellows over time. It really, with the tomato and the zhug, kind of softens in. We're going to salt everything, about a tablespoon of salt, and then set it aside for about half an hour to let everything weep out into, yeah, basically just that, weep out. All right. So now that my tomatoes have macerated and released a lot of their juices over the last half an hour, I am just going to simply dump that into a bowl. Look at me go. I'm so good at this. Then I will add my beans to that. My neighbor gave me some cucumbers, so I'm going to do what I lovingly call a circus stripe, where we just peel a little bit of it but leave some green because you like the color. You eat with your eyes, people. At this point, you can add what you want to really bulk up this salad. It could be more cucumber if you don't like cucumber. It could be more cabbage. It could be zucchini. Just keep it in the green family. And as we're chopping things, we just want to keep in mind the size of our mouth and the size of the utensil that we're going to be eating the salad with. So when we get one forkful, for instance, I want everything to be on that fork. A little bit of the cabbage, a little bit of the tomato, some onion, and some of that cucumber. So just keep that in mind. It's not an exact science, but you know, you want varying sizes. And yeah, I'm adding cabbage because if you have ever watched any of these videos, you will know that I love cabbage. Adding about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm salting modestly because we salted our tomatoes quite a good deal. And then to that, we are adding a full good spoonful of that zhug. And then I'm just dressing it with a neutral oil, about 1 tablespoon. And then you'll see a little lemon juice. Again, you can get the full recipe for this on our website. Pop on over there, buy some zhug, get some tinned fish while you're there. So, as always with composed salads, the most important thing to do is just stir a lot. Make sure that everything has moved around and taste it. Taste your food. Adjust for salt and pepper. Taste it. This is what I've been eating it throughout the week. I put some cheese on top. I put some sliced beef, which I'll post a link so that you can make that as well. And I did it as a side salad with my tinned fish. Back to the cannellini beans. These took about 2.5 hours. I've been testing after hour 2. I know that they're done because the skin will still be firm, but the center will be fluffy and delicious. And then I just transfer this to a bowl and allow it to chill until I'm ready to use it. So, no, we don't salt. I'm going to reheat this, but I need it to be hot so I know how to adjust for salt there first. Fun little trick that I love to do is I like to smush a little bit of them up, add a little more red wine, and then that'll kind of thicken the red wine. And here's how I serve it, with that roast beef again. Yes, here's the link. Go find it. As always, please like and subscribe these videos. Enjoy your lunches, your sides, and eat more beans. And also go onto my website and buy some beans. Yeah, you can do it. Just click and go on over there. All right, enjoy.